Hi everyone and welcome, this is the Apostate Prophet. What is a child molester? If you knew of a 50-year-old man who had a 6-year-old wife with whom he consummated his marriage when she was 9, would you follow that man? Would you look up to this old man? Would you think he was the ideal man? Would you try to live like him? How would you explain his marriage to a child, to your children? I have a lot that I want to talk about this week and in the coming weeks, but before going there, I want to get back to a very important aspect of Islam and its magical prophet Muhammad. Yes, I want to talk about Muhammad's child bride, because I think every Muslim should lengthily think about the fact that their favorite prophet, who is supposed to be the most perfect human, whom every Muslim is supposed to love and imitate, had a 6-year-old wife with whom he consummated his marriage when she was 9. An important thing to add is that many Muslims are not even aware of this, because Islamic teachers and scholars don't just tell them. Although this is a very clear fact, it's mentioned in the same sources that teach you how to pray. That's why we should let them know. So please make sure to like and share this, as hard as it is. Let's listen to Aisha, the child bride herself. Aisha tells us directly how this happened. Narrated by Aisha. The Prophet engaged me when I was a 6-year-old girl. We went to Medina and stayed at the home of Bani al-Harith bin Khazraj. Then I got ill, and my hair fell out. Later on, my hair grew again, and my mother, Roman, came to me while I was playing in a swing with some of my friends. She called me, and I went to her, not knowing what she wanted to do to me. She caught me by the hand and made me stand at the door of the house. I was breathless, and when my breathing became all right, she took some water and rubbed my face and head with it. Then she took me into the house. There in the house, I saw some local women who said, "Best wishes, and Allah's blessing, and good luck." Then she entrusted me to them, and they prepared me. Unexpectedly, Allah's apostle came to me in the forenoon, and my mother handed me over to him. And at that time, I was a girl of 9 years of age. Imagine you have a 9-year-old girl who plays outside with her friends on a swing, and you bring her to a 50-year-old man and say, "This is your husband now. Good luck." Imagine you are a girl, and your parents bring you to a 50-year-old man when you are at the age of 9. And you were 6 when all of that was planned, when you were engaged, sealed to that 50-year-old man. And later, when you are much older, you recount your story, and you remember that you used to play with dolls in the house of your old husband, because you were still a little child. But that old husband, who is revered as a prophet, also bathed you and practiced sexual practices on you when you were 9 years old. We find in several reports that Muhammad told her he saw her in a dream, which is why he married her. That sounds like something a modern cult leader would say. We have some saying that she was an immature little girl, Muhammad's immature little wife. She used to play with dolls while married to Muhammad, who used to watch them play with dolls and then go and have sex with her. And she recalls that Muhammad used to visit the house of her parents every day before they got married. Do you think he thought, looking at that little child, "This is going to be my wife"? And finally, we learn again that Muhammad had intercourse with her when she was 9, and he was in his 50s. What an amazing prophet, right? What an honorable, wonderful, great and wise man. What a perfect example to follow. It is an undeniable fact that Muhammad did marry Aisha when she was still a child, although some moderate Muslims like to deny it when they hear it, and like to cite secondary sources to explain how she couldn't have been a child. But number one, it was the absolute Islamic consensus forever that this marriage happened exactly as described, and this was only challenged within the last 2 centuries by unconventional Muslims, and non-Muslims of course. And 2, it is recorded in numerous sources that are graded as completely authentic by Islamic scholars. If you doubt these sources, you should also doubt the Quran, because we confirm the authenticity of the Quran based on these sources. You should also doubt the prayers and the fastings and so much more. Others like to find no fault in Muhammad marrying a child. They say Muhammad had to marry a little child because she would live long after Muhammad and tell his tale to the believers. It's odd that he needs to marry a child for that, instead of just having a child, or adopting a child, or just having young students who can deliver his story, of which there are plenty, by the way. Fine, Aisha tells us about some very intimate stuff about Muhammad. But we don't need Aisha. Aisha died around the age of 70, while another wife of Muhammad, Salama, whom he married at a quite reasonable age, lived much longer than Aisha and was the last of Muhammad's wives to die. So there really wouldn't have been any need for Aisha at all. Also, Muhammad and the Quran were completely Allah's plan, who certainly wouldn't need to depend on a child bride. Allah could have made all of that happen much differently. They say it was normal back then to marry children, to marry girls at such a young age. In all other marriages of Muhammad and his companions, we see that people married at quite reasonable ages. Aisha was exceptionally young, and people explicitly remarked that. We also have no records, no supporting evidence that girls were usually married at such a young age. We only have Muhammad going around and asking people who married older women why they didn't marry a young virgin so they could fondle each other. Looking at other cultures, we see that in ancient Egypt, the average age of marriage for a girl was around 14. It was probably similar in ancient Mesopotamia. In ancient Rome, 12 was about the beginning. These cultures are much older than Muhammad's Arabia. They say the life expectancy of people was very low, which is why Muhammad had to marry her when she was 6. Yet we see that women lived to the ages of 70, 80, 90, 100, quite commonly. Muhammad died at the age of 60. He was 50 when he married her when she was 6. He definitely didn't have to depend on marrying a child of his best friend Abu Bakr. But none of that matters anyways. Muhammad is supposed to be an example to all humankind, of all times. The living example of the Quran, of how Allah wants everyone to live. Everything he did is supposed to be of divine guidance and flawless. Muhammad could have easily set an example by telling his believers, wait until a girl is mature and then ask her if she wants to marry you. But Muhammad was someone who said her silence is her consent. No wonder he arranged the marriage when she was 6, not even able to think. Muhammad was also someone who looked at a baby and said, I'll marry this one when she's older. We now know, and we knew for a long time, that a girl is not ready for marriage at the age of 6, and not ready when she has her puberty. Although many Muslim apologists will basically tell you that if she's ready to bleed, she is ready to breed. Not even in that time in Arabia was she remotely sexually ready. And many Muslim apologists really want to tell you that she was ready because of Arabia and heat. We know that puberty is only a small but visible part of a long process of a girl becoming mature. It is not for nothing that a girl still physically and psychologically changes until the age of 18 and beyond, because she is not remotely ready at the age of 9. And marrying a girl and having sex with her at the age of 9, when she is not even possibly physically ready, let alone mentally ready, damages her physically and psychologically. And I'm sure that little Aisha didn't get away unharmed. Now, how relevant is Muhammad's child marriage today?
So you think that having sex with a 9-year-old is justified?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that
if my daughter reaches the age of menstruation at 9 years old, I would say you are ready. You are ready to get married.
According to Islamic Sharia, moment a lady reaches puberty, they can marry.
Wow. They excused child marriage. They rationalized child marriage, absurdly claiming that a 9-year-old girl could be mentally ready. They lay the foundation on which pedophiles securely walk and defy all kind of laws and common sense. They follow Muhammad's example and show us just how disgusting and dangerous Islam can be. Let's not let it happen without any objection. Muhammad married a child. He is regarded as the epitome of human perfection, a divinely guided prophet, the favorite prophet, who disregarded nature, the future of humans in child marriage, common sense, and the consent of a 6-year-old girl, the consent of a 9-year-old girl who is not ready for sex. This is the truth about Islam and Muhammad. This is one main reason, dear Muslims, why you have to explain a lot, or just face the fact that you're following a disgusting man who violated a child when he was in his 50s. It's probably time to get rid of that faith and that identity, it stinks. Thanks for watching. If you want to support my cause, you can help me on Patreon or on apostateprophet.com. Thank you all so much. I will be back soon. Have a good day and stay away from Islam.